that the Supreme Court, as presently constituted under Justice Mohammed Tanko, has become heavily compromised, lost its credibility, and now annexed to execute ignorable agenda of the APC-led federal government against the people of Nigeria. That the judgment of the Supreme Court voiding the lawful election of Honorable Emeka Ihedioha, who scored 276,404 and awarding fictitious votes to declare Hope Uzodinma of the APC, who scored 96,458 as a governor of Imo State, is highly irrational, unfounded, a provocative product of executive manipulation, and a recipe for crisis, which we don't pray for, which should not be allowed to stand. With the verdict of the Supreme Court executed a coup against the PDP and the people of Imo State, as well as other Nigerians, and as such must not be allowed to have a place in our democracy.
That evil people who are partially mad in the democracy are not expected to be. Following the Supreme Court judgment that nullified the purported election of Mr. Ihedioha in favor of the governorship candidate of the APC, distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma, the PDP yesterday used language that evil people who are partially mad in a democracy are not expected to use. We watch as PDP make very, very reckless statements that are designed not only to intimidate the judiciary, but one that is calculated to lay foundation for carefully planned unrest with a view to undermining the peace and stability of the Nigerian nation. But first, we have a duty to state the facts as we understand them. Even though we are not lawyers, reading through the judgment of the Supreme Court, and even based on the fact with which we approach the Supreme Court, I just need to recall what the facts are, to show that PDP is not only reckless, they believe it is their birthright to continue to benefit from electoral fraud and electoral manipulation.
Our party has it in good authority that Justice Tanko and his panel are working on instruction from certain forces in the presidency to use the Supreme Court to take over states lawfully won by the PDP and award them to APC. The PDP, therefore, advises Justice Tanko not to allow himself to be used to push our nation to the path of anarchy and constitutional crisis, as any further attempt to subvert the justice in the pending petitions in Sokoto, Bauchi, and Benue Adamawa, as well as Kano and Plateau states, will be firmly and vehemently resisted.
How will you hear yourselves?